What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I have an unboxing and first impressions on this boot right here, the New Balance Tekela V4 Plus in the low variation. Now I'm super excited to check this boot out. I've been wanting to get this boot for a really long time. I just didn't really like the colorways that have come out, but this time I just got this colorway right here. It's like the navy colorway, and you guys can see there the tag. It says blue. And so it just comes in this standard New Balance box, nothing really important, and you just get the boots themselves. No string bag. New Balance doesn't really do that, so it's just the boots. And that is your unboxing experience. But yeah, I'm super excited to have the New Balance Tekela V4 Plus Low in hand. Now I did review the laceless version, which is right here. You guys can see it in this box right here. And I really liked that. I was really impressed by the knitted upper. And now this time around, it did make like an updated version with the V4 Plus, as well as like a low lace model. So this is my first time checking this version out. Now I'm just super excited just because I've heard positive things about this boot and I could finally try it out. This is the boot that I've been wanting to get next, and I finally got it. So in today's video, we're just gonna check out the boot, talk about the upper, and like my first impressions of the boot since I haven't really wore them or tried them. And also I will be doing an on-feet portion to talk about the fit and sizing and all that stuff because the sizing is a little bit different. Alright, so first we'll talk about the upper, and this is a knitted upper called Hypoknit. You guys can see right there, Hypoknit. And this upper is just extremely soft. It's so soft right out of the box. Like the softness of this boot, I feel like it's the softest upper that I've had like right out of the box. Obviously, besides like a leather boot that's already soft, but this is just so soft. It just feels broken in already. I haven't even tried these boots on, and they just feel super soft. You guys can see here in the toe box, there's a little bit of texture, and you could feel it with your hands and stuff like that. You guys can hear it kind of, but I feel like it won't really be that significant in terms of grip. Like it won't feel too like grippy on the ball. Yes, they'll add some like roughness or some texture to it, but I doubt that it's gonna provide a lot of like grip on the ball. And here on the sides, we do get some texture both on the instep and the outside of the boot. And honestly, I didn't really feel this that much when using the laceless version. It just felt a little bit firmer when passing, but this time around, it is kind of broken up. And I guess that just makes this boot softer in the sides. Not that the laceless version or the previous version was like stiff, it was just a little bit on the firmer side, but this time around it's just super soft. It just collapses on itself, you guys can see. And I still believe it's going to add structure to the boot because obviously this material is actually like there, so probably adds still a good amount of structure. But just because it is kind of broken up, you guys can see like the lines here are broken up, it just makes it a little bit more flexible and just soft. I did forget to mention like the inside liner, and it is kind of like a mesh liner. It does have a little bit of padding to it, but compared to the previous one, it does feel like less padded. So I feel like overall this boot will feel a little bit like closer to the foot. It is on the thinner side, but like I said, there is that slight bit of padding to like that mesh liner. It's not a lot, it's very minimal. So for the most part, I feel like the touch on the ball will be pretty close. You know, it'll feel kind of barefoot, but obviously like that knitted upper and the padded mesh liner does have a natural like a little bit of padding to it, so it's not overly thin, but it does like lean more towards the thin side of things. Here in the middle, we do have a knitted upper with some texture again, and it feels pretty stretchy. It's different from the laceless model. Obviously, the laceless model just has a little bit more like compression to it. This one feels nice and stretchy, feels pretty good. Now we'll move on to the heel. And here the heel is a bit different compared to the laceless model. In the laceless, we have like this Velcro material that's a little bit rough and kind of grips your sock. And here in the low version, we have this like synthetic suede, and it's very soft, very padded. In the beginning of the laceless version, I did have a little bit of issues with the heel where I did find a little bit of pressure points, just because you guys can see here, like the New Balance like heel kind of like goes in a little, and because of that, it just kind of dug into my heel and gave me this pressure point right here on like the outside of my heel, and mainly on my left. I'm not sure exactly why my left, but on my right, I didn't really feel it that much. But I did have a little bit of pressure point in the laceless model. That kind of went away once I did start wearing them and did break them in. So hopefully I don't experience that issue with this model. But here the heel looks exactly the same except just the material is a suede. And there's a good amount of padding. It's very soft. The heel counter does kind of go up to here, so there's some flexibility here on the top, but here it is kind of still nice and stable and firm. And we do have a change in the insole. So here the insole is made out of fuel cell, which is kind of their cushioning system, and it doesn't feel that different from a regular insole. Maybe it's a little bit more like squishy, but for the most part it feels kind of similar. It is kind of on the thinner side, so I feel like it won't really have that like squishy sensation that fuel cell does have like on their running shoes. I feel like that it isn't thick enough, but it is soft, so I'll give it that. And another thing that I noticed is that the liner and the insole is different. It's no longer that grippy material that we did have. Unfortunately, I really like that material just because it added a little bit more grip to your sock when you weren't wearing grip socks. So like this time around, it's just like a normal standard liner, like nothing special. It's probably just a mesh liner. So it's like there's no grip to it, which kind of sucks just because I thought that insole was excellent. And the sole plate is the same as the previous model, the 4, and it's carried over. It's pretty lightweight as a sole plate. The boot feels really light in hand. And you guys can see here, it's all conical here. And it does have these extra like bladed studs on the side. You won't really notice them that much. The only time you really notice them is like when you're cutting like very to the side. You guys can see it'll probably make first contact and provide a little bit more grip just because they are bladed style stud patterns. And so I feel like when you're cutting across very, you know, very tightly, just cutting across, that's when you'll probably get the most out of these stud patterns. But for the most part, I feel like you don't really feel them that much. Overall, I really like the sole plate and the way it performs, just because it's nice and flexible. It's still stable here in the midfoot, but here in the forefoot, nice and flexible, and it just goes very well with the very soft upper. It just feels very natural. All right, so now we'll move on to an on feet portion, and I'll talk about the sizing and the fit. All right, guys, so here we have the cleats on feet, and I can tell you guys straight out of the box, these cleats are just super comfortable. They're just fit very great. The upper feels very soft, and it just feels like it's already broken in. It feels like I've worn these boots for like 2 3 sessions already. That's how comfortable they are. Like I don't have any like weird spots like where they hurts me. Usually I have spots here on the side that I do have some pinching, but nothing, no pinching whatsoever. So here I decided to go with the wide fit variant just because I did go with the wide fit version on the laceless one. So I feel like I was gonna have a good fit, and if they were just a little bit wide, I have the laces just to adjust the like sides and make them tighter. So I wasn't really worried. The wide fit variant like fits my foot excellent. I don't have any like weird spaces. They still like wrap your foot pretty closely. There you guys can see there's no weird like weird spots. I do have a bit of a wider foot, so this just makes it a little bit more comfortable. I don't have any pressure points, no nothing. So if you do have a super wide foot or like a medium wide foot, I would just recommend going with the wide fit version just because it's gonna be more comfortable. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference with the standard version. I feel like I could fit in the standard version. It would just be a little snug in the midfoot. Now, in terms of sizing, this is where you guys have to pay attention just because the sizing is a little bit off. I went half a size up, and you guys can see here, my toe is basically all the way on the edge. I do have a little bit of space left, just a little, but it's barely anything. And if I did go true to size, the boots would just fit too tight. Like, they would just feel very tight. So I would just recommend going half a size up. Now, if you guys like your cleats very, very tight with no space whatsoever, then I guess go true to size. But if you guys just want to be comfortable, I would just recommend going half a size up. Now, so far, nothing really bothers me. The only thing that I have like a little weird like pinch or something that I kind of notice is the heel. So the heel here, I did have like some issues in the beginning with the laces version, some pressure point here, and I feel it a little here in the low version. I do have a little bit of like it's kind of digging into my back of my heel a little bit. It's only on my left foot. On my right, I don't really feel it. So that probably will go away once I do break them in and do wear them. I feel like that will just like that heel area will soften up. But like I said before, I did experience that in the laceless model, so I expect it just to go away as I start wearing them. But yeah, I'm just happy with the way these boots fit. There isn't really any extra space, even though this is the wide foot variant. Like it fits me very close to the foot without feeling very tight. Like, I really like that. The laces added a little bit of extra like lockdown. So overall, I'm just happy with the way these fit, the way these feel on feet. All right, so now I'll leave you guys with my final thoughts. My final thoughts on this boot is that I'm very impressed with the upper. It's just super soft. They made it even softer than the previous model, which is the V4. It just feels super soft here in the midfield, the toe box. It just feels like a broken in boot. And the fit is great overall. You guys did see that it fits me pretty well. Like this being like the wide fit version, it just fits my foot very comfortable. Like I have no like pressure points. And this is a very solid option if you guys do have a wider foot. Like the wide fit version will probably fit you really well. And for the most part, I feel like it'll fit anybody. And yes, I will be doing a playtest with these as soon as I can, and I'll upload it as soon as I can. So that's it for the unboxing and first impressions on the New Balance Tekela V4 Plus Low. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you're notified for the playtest video of this boot, as well as the full review. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.